Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast, and this is Fakulti of Law Universitas Diponegoro podcast. And today we are really honored to have Associate Professor Dr. Haniff Ahamat with us. And as you may know, that he is a very notable person in economic law, business law, with all his experiences, and he is also known for actively guiding students in academic competition, international competition like a JSAP, and I think he has many stories and also advices for students. So today we will not talking about business or private law, but today Dr. Haniff will share his insights on the importance of academic culture in Malaysia, its impact on legal education, and how it shapes the future of law students and also professionals. So if you guys want to be international student going abroad, doing a student exchange or so on, and you could stay tuned in our enriching podcast. Good morning, Dr. Haniff.
Good morning.
Okay, before we start, can you please just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your academic background, your role as a lecturer in Malaysia, and how you have seen the student landscape evolve over the years?
My name is first of all, thank you very much, Bu Willy, for inviting me to be on this podcast. My name is Haniff Ahamat. I'm an associate professor at Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. In English, we call it National University of Malaysia. With regards to my study, I studied in two universities in Malaysia for my first degree, that is S1, and also my second degree, and I did my PhD in United Kingdom. So basically, that is about my academic portfolio, academic profile. With regards to how do I look at student, development and student life, I am so involved in students' activities, as Bu Willy mentioned just now. I was engaged with student competition, especially mooting. So that is about myself.
Okay, I think that's very amazing, your experience for guiding JSAP mooting.
Yeah, JSAP mooting.
Okay,
yeah.
That's very amazing. So I would like to hear your insights about the academic culture in Malaysia. So how would you describe the overall academic environment in Malaysia, especially in terms of teaching styles and then curriculum and also student engagement? Probably you will give us an example for your university or probably other university, as long as you know about that.
Okay, the academic system in Malaysia, in universities in particular, we have to understand Malaysia is a multiracial country, and Malaysia also, there are two things. First is Malaysia is a multiracial country where people speak different languages, and that is why you see that Malaysians, they have to speak English sometimes. In many places, even on the street, you see Malaysians speaking English. So when I say that Malaysia is a multiracial country, so there are different types of universities in Malaysia. So that will also help you to understand, how the academic culture is. But of course, because we have to understand also academic culture also has to be a kind of, standardized to follow the policy of the government. And secondly, Malaysia, as I think most of you know, was colonized by the British. So some of the British vibes, the vibes in British education, can be felt, including in universities. So I give example, when it comes to teaching. So now we focus more on law. So if you want to ask me the academic system, as I said, although there are different types of university in Malaysia, different type, and when there's different type of university, of course the law schools will have different, different way of, different philosophy guiding philosophy. But the academic system, the teaching, has to comply with the saya mau cakap bahasa Indonesia sedikit ya.
It's okay, I think.
With the kebijakan pemerintah itu, the policy of the government. So, for example, for if you study in law schools in Malaysia, the teaching normally we have tutorials. We have also class. We have lectures. We have tutorials. So this is, how teachings have been conducted. Not only that, kita itu we have to follow the rules set by government, but also the rules set by the professional body. For law school, we have to follow what the Lawyers Association, ask us to do. Right.
Oh, so regarding to your explanation, so university in Malaysia still influenced by British government until right now?
Not to say British government, but the vibes.
The
system,
vibes.
especially law, because our legal system is very much influenced by the English legal system. So we will use a lot of British books published in Britain and also other common law countries. In the past, there were lecturers from Commonwealth countries as well, teaching in Malaysian law schools.
Yes.
But now I think maybe because funding, short of fund, and I think lecturers from these countries prefer to go to Indonesia rather than to go to Malaysia because they want to experience new things. So I also might have that kind of interest as well. So that is the the legacy is there. Yes. But of course we cannot just say that all Malaysian universities are exactly the same like UK universities. I give example. Malaysian university, most of them, they have residential colleges. Namanya asrama.
Okay, asrama.
So kalau if you are a fan of Harry Potter.
Yeah, dormitory.
Dormitory.
Okay.
Yeah, so they eat. Of course that is not the same, but if you want to see the system like colleges in because we have older universities in UK like Oxford and Cambridge, they have their colleges. But newer universities like my university, that I did my PhD, Assoc University, also has we call resident, I forgot already what they call asrama, tapi they have the specific word for that. So the residential college. So this is the place where the students will stay, will socialize. So their life revolves very much around the university campus. But as I said, there are also private universities in Malaysia. So private universities are quite different because they are mostly located within the city centre. This is another thing you might notice. Many public universities in Malaysia, they were designed and they were to be located quite far from the city centre. Like my university in Bangi. So it's quite far from the university. So they create like a university town. Gitu.
Is there any reason specifically for this, why your government put your many universities, public universities, in a far from town? Is there any?
There is a reason. There's socio-economic reason, because government wants to to develop. Contohnya begini, kawasan-kawasan yang jauh dari dari perbandaran itu ataupun perkotaan itu. So when the government, I give you example, there's one public university. I of course I hope I can speak, not only for my university, because this is for the whole country of Malaysia. Universiti Utara Malaysia, Northern University of Malaysia, is located very near to the Thai border. That area, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, were actually an area full of, I would say you call communist activities, because we had communist, long time ago. But of course now it's vibrant, and the fact that the government, that is number one. Now, for example, Bangi is the city where UKM is located. So Bangi, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I still remember when I was small, I went there. It was like, not too many things there, but now it's vibrant. So that's why this has something to do also with what is the expectation of in students. For example, they think like, okay, I want to be near to Kuala Lumpur, so you have to know which university that you can easily go to the Kuala Lumpur city centre.
Okay. So like your government led the economic growth and naturally, and also some defense.
So naturally that there will be new township. When there is new township, then there will be schools being built, or even factories being built. So I think that is quite a successful policy by the Malaysian government.
Wow, that's good. Actually, in Indonesia, it's also like that. Some universities, public universities, are put in far from the town, so the economic of the people will grow naturally.
But for students, to me, that's why I would like to advise. Then, if let's say you are someone who who you feel like, I don't want to be, I want to live in a cosmopolitan kind of. You want to have a cosmopolitan lifestyle. So you have to consider, studying, in Universiti Malaya. UKM also, it's not a problem. I mean, to me, I have to promote my university, because in Malaysia, another thing is the public transport. Our public transport is not as good as in Hong Kong or Singapore. I have to tell you that, but I think it is quite well integrated. Like, for example, if you are in Bangi, but of course, another thing that you have to, I think it's also the same, like, some universities in Indonesia. I went to some university in Indonesia which is very huge, kawasannya itu, areanya itu sangat luas. So you have to consider also, your transportation. Like in my university, there is, public transport. The bus is provided, but sometimes, during weekends. Weekend di Malaysia ini kelas will be from Isnin until Jumaat, and Sabtu and Ahad itu there will be no classes. So then you feel like, it's so boring. So you have to know, in Malaysia you have to know a lot. You have to know the timetable of the bus, timetable of the train. So all those things, I think, if you study in UKM, then you should not be a problem, or even other universities.
Okay, I see. And about the curriculum, how your university make it, like, is it semester or blocks or?
In Malaysia, most law schools, they use they can be semester system, but normally the semester will be further combine. Not to say combine. We have semesters. We have semester 1 until semester 8. But normally we also use the term year. So student year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. So semesters is normally for the subjects. So subjects will be offered in semester 1 or semester 2. But normally also, if you might also, I think students from Indonesia, might find it a bit strange that we always ask you which year are you in. Are you in first year or is in second year? So there will be like, first semester of first year, second semester of second year, and then you have also first semester of second year and second semester of second year, first semester, and go on until year 4, because for law school it's just 4 years. So curriculum wise, as I said, we have to comply with standard set by what we call as the MQA, Malaysian qualification. I forgot already, accreditation also. Sorry, accreditation thing, and also not only from the MQA, but also from the professional body. we have what we call as the LPQB, Legal Professional Qualification Board.
Okay.
So they will come, from time to time and check our curriculum. So that's why things and audit in Malaysia is so so regular. And my advice is, for example, attendance. You have to come and take your attendance, because you will make the life of sometimes lecturers' life become difficult, because when you are away from lectures and also classes. I mean, you are away from classes. So in Malaysia, you have to come to classes. If let's say you are involved in some activities, you have to get a letter. An excuse letter. I think this is also the same.
Yeah, it's same with us. Okay, so that's why days ago you asked our student with third or second year. It's
so
because you always okay.
But now I know, if the students say they are in their third semester, that means second year, first semester.
Yes.
So it's like that.
We usually as our student likes semester berapa. It's like we use semester then year.
There is a reason for that. There is a reason for that.
Okay.
Because in some schools like law school, like medical schools, you have to finish courses in the lower years. And if you don't finish, you cannot go to your final year. Dia begitu.
In the final,
the final year, that is semester 5 dan 6. Semester 7 dan 8. Semester 7 and semester 8. That is considered as the final year. And in Malaysia, we have professional schools like law, accountancy. I don't know accountancy. I cannot say much about accountancy. Medicine, they have 5 years, and the 5th year. From the third year, they are already in their clinical. But for law, their final year is the professional year. So there is possibility, depending on the law school, depending on the it is not necessarily law school, because someone from other bidang also, other areas of knowledge also want to also learn from what I say, what I'm saying. So that is the reason why year is very important. So year 1, year 2. So normally year 1, and then when you go up to year 2, and normally the subjects become more and more difficult. And then when you have finished normally year 3, at the end of year 3, when you want to go into year 4, some universities require you to have to complete certain subjects. So we have certain subject to be completed before you can complete another subject. So that is something that if let's say you want to study in Malaysia, you have to be a bit aware.
Okay, that's a little bit different with Indonesia, because in Indonesia our student can retake their courses that they don't pass the course in every year. So if you don't pass the courses in a semester, third semester, and then you can make it to retake that in the fifth
in Malaysia
semester.
also can.
Okay,
but that depends. Again, there are some universities in Malaysia for law. We are talking about law. Their intake is only once a year. The UKM intake is once a year. So there's potential that the subject is offered only once a year. So that's why the year is very important. Once a year. But other universities, I knew that some universities their intake is twice. So there's again, I have to be a little bit careful, because I have to promote the interest of my university. But actually, if you want to ask me personally, I say you might consider some other universities that might, so that is again, I cannot say much about that, because I have to as I say, protect, preserve the what they call the nama baik, the goodwill of my university.
So it's same, guys. In UKMs also you can retake your courses that you
definitely can. If you fail, then you can repeat. Always repeat, and that is what you have to do. if you don't repeat, then you cannot complete your course and you cannot graduate.
Okay, it's same with us. I would like to ask you, how does the academic culture in Malaysia differ from the other countries, particularly when it comes to the relationship between lecturers and also students? It's like a, easygoing or something, or like in Indonesia, probably we are growth in like a very, very polite environment, so it's a very strict relationship between us, a lecturer, and also student in an academic environment.
Okay, as I said, Malaysia is a multiracial country. So we have four major races. First is Malay. And you have to understand, Malay in Malaysia is not Malay like it's not the same as Malay in Indonesia. Malay is like, everybody from Nusantara region. If they are Muslim, they are Malay. So if let's say Bobili Javanese, you're in Malaysia, you are considered Malay. You're considered Malay. Alright, because that is definition under the Federal Constitution of Malaysia. Second, you have Chinese. We have a vibrant, Chinese community in Malaysia. And the number is quite 20% of the population, and we also have 10% of the population of Malaysia. But now I think less than 10%. It's about 7% are Indians. And we also have the Bumi Putra or Pribumi from Sabah and Sarawak. So when you come to Malaysia, you will see that academic culture will be like it's quite not like in Indonesia, where it's a little bit difficult to distinguish where you from. Which community you are from. So, but in Malaysia, it's very visible. But again, I want to highlight, when you ask about academic culture, it depends. As I said, there are some universities private universities in Kuala Lumpur, which are very much, integrated into the global culture. The global culture. We also have universities like Monash University. We have Nottingham University. They are UK university and also Australian universities, but opening in Malaysia. So the culture will be, the lecturers will be from there. So if we say that is it Nusantara, of course, but when you go to public universities, yes, because most of the lecturers, because of course, regardless of who they are, but because we are like the hubungan, the relationship between the lecturer and also the student will be a little bit like you have to sopan santun, and of course it will not be nice, because what I personally will always tell my students, because first is Nusantara, and second, I'm a Muslim, and it doesn't matter whether my student I'm Muslim or not Muslim. I will say that adab. I don't know what you call adab in Indonesian language.
It's like probably etika, tata susila, moral.
But in Malaysia, the focus is on adab. I think maybe because the influence of Islam, so the adab thing. So I will always say that adab comes first, ilmu comes later. Okay, so if you are seorang yang berilmu, if you are a very very genius student, or you are very able student, be a good lawyer, you can advance your argument very very effectively, kamu bisa kalahkan lawan kamu. But when it comes to adab, then again, that's why it depends. Some people say, why should I, think that this is important? Because I'm not going to work in Malaysia, for example. But to me, if, I will tell my students that you carry that adab, because you never know. And then, things are also changing. We see in America itself, why Donald Trump won. It's because the people in America also see that, they have to go back to their culture. You see? So I'm not saying, that, I am against, Western, liberalism whatsoever. No. Everything has its own character, its own benefits, and it's up to you. But again, adab doesn't matter whether you are, you want to live this kind of life or whatever lifestyle, but adab. So in Malaysia, the adab thing, so you will see that, sometimes, I give you an example. You will see, we go to the classroom. Sometimes the students are not so, I would say, some noisy in class. They don't ask too many questions sometimes, Sometimes they don't ask too many questions, but they will ask the questions maybe when they go and see the lecturers personally. Because sometimes they don't want to be seen as someone who is like,
like show off or something.
no, so like diva, for example. So they kind of that.
see.
But some people don't care.
Okay.
I mean, of course, to me, if I will always tell my student, very good for you to sit in front and then to be like, doctor, I don't understand this. Yeah, I will always welcome. In fact, I'm very, very like, I appreciate my students too.
Yeah. As a lecturer, we are really thrilled and happy if there is many responses from the students actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. In Indonesia, we also like, or for Gen Z, like we say like attitude, your attitude.
Yeah.
Okay. This.
I think it's the same. It's the same.
Matter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. I don't put the blame on every. I mean, we cannot like discriminate. Saya begini. Saya tidak diskriminasi. I don't discriminate between generation. Because to me, I always believe that God create every creature in the justice to its fullest.
Yeah.
You see, ada kelebihan, ada plus minus dan sebagainya. So I think that should not be a problem. But what sometimes I'm already 50 years old. Okay, now I will just I will expose my own personal data. Okay,
You want me to cut it?
No, 50. All right. But it's just that to me life sometimes cannot be too fast. Compared when I was younger.
Yeah.
So, but of course that's why people are asking about too many other things that I cannot absorb.
Yeah.
We lecturer cannot absorb. Not that we cannot absorb, but when you want to absorb, we take time and then things change again like that.
Okay, understood. And about the international students, like as a Malaysian lecturer, what are some common challenges international students face when adapting to Malaysia's academic environment, and how can they overcome these challenges?
Okay. So I will answer just this way. That's why I started with you have to know. I still remember when I was small, there's this saying when Malaysia wants to promote its tourism. Kenali Malaysia, cintai Malaysia. If you want to love, you have to know first. This is sometimes no problem. Not only because as I said, kita Malaysia Indonesia ni serumpun. Kita sama, tapi kadang-kadang gaduh gitu. Why? Because you cannot love if you do not know. From both sides, Malaysian and also Indonesia, they don't know what is Indonesia. They just look at just from their first sight. They don't go and see, oh sebenarnya Indonesia ni begini. Indonesia ni negaranya kaya. Indonesia negara ni cantik. Negara ni begini. I have been here for more, I think almost 10 times already. So when people ask me, I will tell my students, jangan sebut, maaf jangan sebut Indon, sebut Indonesia atau Indo, because they don't know. And you will, when you go there, please you please forgive their ignorance. To me, they are ignorant. They don't know. Sometimes then you say, mohon maaf begini. Oh, okay. So the same goes to Indonesians. Sometimes they do not know Malaysia. Like what I said, Melayu di Malaysia, Melayu itu beda dengan Melayu di Indonesia. Melayu di Indonesia ini ada di kawasan tertentu saja.
Yes.
But Malay in Malaysia, particularly in Peninsular Malaysia, they are all
in the whole country.
Yeah, you have like, for example, they look Arab, but they are Malay. They look like Indian, they are Malay. So when you go, so beza, and then you have the Chinese, and I have to tell you that to me that is nothing wrong, because it's not illegal. In Malaysia, the Chinese will speak Chinese among themselves. So you will like, kamu akan kaget, mengapa mereka. Jadi so in class you will see that one group will speak Chinese, the other group will speak Malay, and even among the Malays, they come from north, they come from the East Coast, and you also have students from Sabah, Sarawak. So they will like they will speak different languages.
Yeah.
And then when they have to they have to get back as one whole group, then they either speak Malay or even they speak English.
Oh, okay.
You see, because I seen in the TikTok, there's one Indonesian TikTok dia say orang Melayu, dia disebut orang Malay, orang Malaysia ini enggak ada jati diri. No, it's not that they don't have jati diri. The Malays they speak Malay, but of course the Malay they speak is actually the bahasa pasar. Like what sometimes when I said to you and you, what Dr. Haniff said, that is what they will speak. That language. So that language is not, if standard Malay is actually easier for you to understand. So that's number one. Number two, when you see this group, so my advice is, especially if you want to study law, because the main challenge is the legal system. So that's why not many Indonesian students study law in Malaysia, but there are some universities, where there are already Indonesian students. Quite a number of them study in Malaysia. But UKM, we are quite, kami sedang masih lagi baru. But I really hope that more and more Indonesian students will study. But again, this is another thing. Law schools, certain universities, law schools, they are small. When they are small, the facilities also are quite small. But I'm not sure. This is the policy at the university, or maybe at the government level. Maybe if let's say they want to make it bigger. But of course, we are used to small environment. The biggest law school, there is one university where then the most is like 400 per year. 400 or 450. That is the most. I mean, they don't have like 700, no. Some university, even, the new ones, the student, they take around 70. 70 per year.
Oh my
so
God.
Imagine 70, 60. So if let's say you go to these universities, they open up to foreign students, because of course now I think most universities are welcoming. Then suddenly you are one student from Indonesia and the rest are 70, only 70 students from Malaysia. You'll be visible, I tell you. Visible maksudnya kamu akan dilihat. Noted. You'll be noted. Like you will be notable. I mean, you will be like, your presence will be noted. Kenapa? Studentnya enggak ramai. Bila studentnya enggak ramai, the students are very small in number. Then that's why that is where you have to kalau apa ya, we say in Malay we call menjaga diri. You have to jaga diri. You have to jaga diri. Tahu bagaimana mau menjaga diri. That means you cannot like, I don't want to mingle. To me, you have to mingle. I think I have seen some schools. I mean, some faculties. Like Faculty of Economics, they have quite a number of Indonesian students. So that will not be a challenge. But for law student, you have to the first day. I think after petang ni nanti kita ada juga sesi. Then you have to make sure that imagine that Malaysia, you have different type of people. Actually is something yang enrich you. So you make friend with Malay, of course lah. It doesn't matter, and you don't be surprised that the Malay that you make friend is also a Javanese. Then that Malaysian will say, because many of them they cannot speak. They can speak Jawa kasar. They can speak the
Javanese
language. Jawa kasar mereka bisa speak. But they might want you to teach them the Jawa halus. That don't be surprised. And then you might they invite you to go to their house and suddenly everybody speak Javanese. In that kampung. So there are that situation in Malaysia, because Malaysia, although it's small, is as big as Java. I think smaller than Java Island. It's small. I mean Peninsular Malaysia.
Peninsular.
And of course I cannot forget and cannot discount or disregard Sabah and Sarawak. Sabah and Sarawak itself, is like separated by Indonesia. If you want to go there, you have to fly over, Indonesian territory. So to me, there are a lot for you. Don't just be University Bukit Bintang Pavilion. Some of you go to Penang, some of you go to Johor. There are a few other places. Then after this, I will tell you.
Okay. It's amazing. And for international students planning to study in Malaysia, what are some practical tips for adapting to life outside to the classroom? Because we need that to survive our daily life.
Okay. First, as I said, transport is very important. Transport. Okay, but it's not easy for you to have your own transport, so public transport will be important. So to me, That's why if you go to Malaysia, you have to, okay, also this is quite difficult, sometimes we have this perasaan malu, and then there's this word, in English we call reserve. Reserve means apa ya? I don't want to say that Malaysians are reserved. No, depends on Malaysians, Malay or Chinese or Indian. But sometimes there are certain Malaysian mentality. Okay. Like for example, when they see outsider, that they feel like okay, they don't want to say that much. Okay. Sometimes they keep to themselves, or sometimes they will make jokes sometimes. So this is where and again you have to forgive them, especially as I said, in law schools we don't have so many foreign students. Undergrad, postgrad, there are a lot, but postgrad life is different. Okay. If you talk about undergrad, life is different, because undergraduate life as undergraduate, you have to be with your friends. Okay. You have to you have to feel the life as a student. And as I said, in Malaysia they have residential colleges, asrama. Ini kami panggil college kediaman. Okay. So when you are there, because of course there are certain college kediaman or residential college which are more suitable for foreign students. Because we have foreign students who demand, for example, air conditioner and things like that. And most of the students who go there to study full-time, they must come from quite a well-off family. Yeah. So that is the demand, that is the expectation. But again, that doesn't mean that, your life at the faculty, that means di fakultas, hidupan di fakultas itu terputus. Or you just go to this is again, don't just go to class and then go back. Go to class and then go back, and then you go out with your friends who are not in the university. Okay. So this is something that I want to I want to advise. Because why? Normally we always say that in some kesukaran ataupun in some difficulties there is always a silver lining. Okay. Okay, there's always silver lining, means there's always hope. There's always something very good. You are alone there, you might acquire something or obtain something that your Indonesian fellow or friend or student in other faculties do not have that opportunity. I give example, for law student, for example, you take the opportunity to study the system in Malaysia. You can also, ask around, you go to the library, and this is another thing which is quite different in Malaysia. It also depends on university. As I said, if you go to University A, you will see maybe not to say total, but quite a different culture. Okay. Because I give you an example, in some university, their faculty is very active in the sense that they also send students to go very far away from their university for, community service. Oh. You see. Okay. But, there are some university, no, they don't do that. Because the faculty is too small, or the faculty is focused on research. Okay. Okay. So that will be taken over by the college. Then if you are not, then you have to be active both in the faculty association, student association, and also the college student association. Oh wow! Because in Indonesia, most of the students live outside the campus. Most of us. Yeah, but that is in public university. In private university, the culture might be different again. Yeah. So it depends. So I think Malaysia is actually a country of options. It's up to you. Okay. So you do your research first. Jadi apa kemauan kamu? What type of environment you want? Yeah. You want, let's say you are very conservative, you want an environment yang enggak begitu, ataupun you want environment very rural environment. Oh. There are universities which are quite rural. They are in quite rural region or less urbanized region. Yeah. But in Malaysia, the situation is like this. Although they are far from KL, but most of the infrastructure is tip-top. I give you example. There's one law school. There are two law schools. We are quite far from KL, KL area. We have one university in Terengganu and one university in Kedah, the one that I mentioned just now. Near. Yeah, if you are there, you can easily go to Thailand and then enjoy Thai food. Okay, and if you go, if you are in Terengganu, you can, it has very beautiful coast. They have islands, and that is because I think in the TikTok also there's some Indonesians say, and anytime we can go to Kuala Lumpur. It's just, take a bus, or maybe if you have money, you can take a flight. There's also cheap flight. You take a flight, 1 hour flight from Kuala Terengganu to KL, and then you can enjoy. You can go to Penang, you can go to. So that's why you have to know that Malaysia is diverse. You don't just do Malaysia is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia is Bukit Bintang. No. Malaysia got a lot. I mean, they are, Malaysia, in Malay we call kampung. In Sumatera also we call kampung, village. In Jawa we call desa. There are places where, you enjoy, the kampung life or the village life, the life in the desa, perdesaan, perdesaan life. So, you can do some study and then you can make your option.
Okay.
But of course, I would want you to come to UKM, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we also encourage our student to we have a term for a student that only go to campus and then go to a dorm or something. It's like kupu-kupu. Kupu-kupu is like a butterfly. So don't be kupu-kupu. Kuliah pulang.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you might be active in your environment or to student activities or.
But I have to also caution, okay, because when I say this, it doesn't mean that, because normally in Malaysia, again, first, Malaysia is a country of option. Number 2, options. Number 2, Malaysia is a country of supply and demand.
Yeah.
So we always, sometimes you say, Dr. Haniff said this, when then when you go to that particular university, I don't see people offering me. Sometimes, you have to ask.
Oh, okay.
And then when you ask, sometimes, when you ask also, it's not necessarily be available. Okay. Because again, it's all about funding.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all about funding. So, what you have to do is, you have to go and see, what is offered, by the place that you study.
Okay.
Let's say you study, the college say that again, I don't know, because I am not so familiar with private universities, private colleges or private universities. They might have a different thing to offer to the students. In fact, I have seen, from the advertisement, they have even more active. They are like, now they are, it's like edu tourism.
Okay.
So edu-tourism, they have already things to offer. But public university, no, we are like, our hands are little, not really tight, but we can try. But if let's say there are so many students, I mean, there are group of students, enough number. There's also one public university, if I'm not mistaken, but this doesn't have a law school.
Okay.
So it is located, near the mountain range. I went there I think a few months ago. Again, I know the person who is also holding quite a high post there. She said that now many students coming to the university. In fact, during the weekend they have glamping.
Yeah.
And then the raft, the rafting. They have everything there because why? They have the places are very nearby. So it depends. So if let's say you want to have that kind of, but of course if you go to UKM, let's say the society say that okay, it's okay and you can go. So it's all about planning, arrangement. You participating in that.
Regarding to your explanation about the private university that offer edu tourism, is it paid or they?
I'm not sure. I don't know. So maybe you have to see whether it's from the the tuition fee, or maybe you have to they have a special package. That one I'm not sure. I think everything, most of them now are available online, so you can check.
Okay. About the funding, so how would you describe the cost of living in Malaysia compared to other study destination, and how can students manage their finance efficiently? Because this is especially for students who are go abroad without a scholarship.
Okay.
Living costs.
One thing that you have to know that this is also based on my students' experience. Sometimes I ask, but most of my students are postgraduate students. Okay. I don't have the opportunity to mingle with undergraduate students from Indonesia. Indonesia. Okay. So I cannot say much about the cost, because the cost you can actually check with the universities. Different universities have different tuition fee, but the cost of living, at the residential college, the price of food is quite reasonable. Okay, so because it's, I would say, not to say subsidized, but they're kind of if I subsidize, then I make allegation that government pay subsidy. But of course, unless it's true, but of course it's like the price is not like outside. So if you at the college or asrama, then but if you stay out of the campus,
Okay.
that can be a little bit challenging. But if I say now, food, it's quite difficult to have, if let's say like nasi padang kind of thing.
Yeah. How much in Malaysia?
Malaysia, it can easily go up to 10 ringgit.
10 ringgit is
berapa?
10 ringgit. 1 ringgit is
1 ringgit is now 3,500
rupiah.
And now it's higher now.
It's high. Oh,
It's
so for us.
3,580. It can go up 3,600. So it's like between 3,500 and 3,000 is the on the upper side of 3,500.
Okay.
Unless it goes down, then so it can be like we put it at 3,500.
Yeah.
Okay. Hoping that the currency will
I know.
okay, 3,500, so
3,500
35,000
rupiah
Yeah.
for one plate of nasi
everything.
padang.
It's kind of nasi padang, we call nasi campur,
Okay.
with chicken, with everything. But this one is the normal one.
Okay.
It can go down below. It can be like 5 ringgit to, it can be like between 5 ringgit to 10 ringgit. Depending on where you go. We have also nasi budget.
Nasi budget.
Nasi budget mean budget rice. This
Okay.
one is normally for student. So you
Okay.
have to be a little bit exposed. That is why when you go to Malaysia, make friend with the Malaysian student.
Oh,
So if let's say you are Muslim, better you make friend with Malay student. You know,
We find
But if
for
you are
halal
non-Muslim, halal food. But non-Muslim, you can like them Chinese student. You know, but I don't know whether they are Indian student in Indonesia. But but if let's say you're from Chinese ancestry or Christian, then you can go and the Chinese students, they will bring you to the places. There's a lot of places.
Okay.
I have friends who say that Chinese food in Malaysia is one of the best. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never tasted it. Okay, they say one of the best. So,
Okay.
but again, it's your option. Indonesian food everywhere, I tell you.
Yeah.
Everywhere in Malaysia.
And I think that the range of price is reasonable for us because nasi padang for like 5 until 10 ringgit is really affordable, I think. Because in Semarang is one of the big city in Indonesia, the price is quite
Okay, the
same.
nasi padang, you have to understand.
Yeah.
Indonesian nasi padang is the premium nasi padang.
Oh, that's different.
In Malaysia, it's nasi campur actually. But I just want to give you some idea. We call nasi campur.
Okay.
So you only have like that 10 ringgit. Or you cannot like fish, beef, chicken. No. It's like normally one you choose.
Okay.
Fish or beef or chicken.
Okay,
And then you have like and then in Malaysia, this is what I noticed. Yeah, Indonesia, the sayur is not that variable.
Yeah.
Over there you have like 3-5 tray of just vegetable. You have like vegetable, this kind of vegetable. Then we also have ulam, ulaman, rice. You also have sambal. Normally because I think Malays their food is like the Sumatran people.
Yeah.
From Sumatra. They will have like they have the kuah, the gulai, and also sometimes the gulai with the chicken, but also they have like fried fish.
Okay.
Normally we call ikan kembung.
Yeah, it's
ikan
with us.
kembung. Normally we eat ikan kembung. Ikan kembung. And then we also have like asam pedas.
Okay.
If let's say that is the Malay, that's what you can choose.
Okay.
This is a good thing. Let's say hari Isnin Malay. Okay, you can do like jadual.
Jadual.
And then second day you can have the nasi ayam penyet geprek everywhere in Bali.
Really?
Yeah, they are everywhere. Okay, I can tell you that ayam geprek you can get around 11 ringgit.
11 ringgit is
Like 37,000
Yeah, okay.
rupiah.
20,
You can have like the
24.
A, B and C. The C C is the most the what you call the cheapest.
Yeah.
But you can have like everything there. So then hari Selasa itu makanan Jawa. Then you can have the Chinese. There also Chinese halal food, but the Chinese halal food is quite expensive. I tell you. You have like the mee, the noodle. Then you can have mama.
What's mama?
Mama is you don't have mama food.
I never-
Kedai mama nasi kandar.
Nasi kandar.
It's the curry one, the Indian.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know.
And then,
I know.
then the fourth day, now I'm salivating. Sudah lapar. And then hari Jumaat, then maybe you can go back to. And then even Malay, they are different. You know, we have like Malay from the south, maybe a little bit similar to Sumatra. But we have also the north, which are similar to the Thai.
Yeah.
There are also a lot of Thai food. So I think food is not that difficult.
Yeah.
The variety.
It's easily accessed
And
for
one more
the
thing I want to
student.
highlight. In Malaysia, if you stay in the asrama,
Yeah.
most of the asrama or the senior college will not allow you to cook.
Oh, why?
You cannot cook
Why?
because for safety. And also they want to control electricity and so because we have like I don't know, because sometimes when they use some cooker or whatsoever, then it can cause trip.
Yeah,
Trip meaning jadi there's one I have to tell you that most of the asrama, they don't allow you to cook unless there's specific type of residential college. We say normally this is in a setting like apartment, that one then you have to ask whether you can cook or not.
Okay. It's, how about like we bring like microwave or like rice cooker? Is it allowed?
Rice cooker, yeah. Then you have to ask. Normally, there's I think there's always in Malaysia when you have a general rule, there's an also exception. Maybe you can negotiate, or maybe like I said, there are some residential colleges which are actually tailor-made for the foreign students.
Okay.
So maybe they have a specific different rule.
Okay, I understand. Okay, and about the Malaysia's academic system, what would you say are the most important academic skills students need to succeed at the Malaysian university, and how can they develop these skills? So student skills for academic.
One of the things that I noticed, you have to improve not only your speech, English is very important in Malaysia. Okay. English is very important in Malaysia, not only your spoken English but also your writing.
Right.
Because in the end, in the final exam, the lecturer will give you mark, will assess your answer and give you marks based on your writing.
Okay.
So this is what I always highlight. The rest, I think, if let's say is in Malay, bahasa Malaysia is Upin Ipin language, so if you watch Upin Ipin, then there's, but of course the writing is not the Upin Ipin one. Okay. So saya selalu bilang, saya kalau bercakap, if I speak Malay itu ialah Malay yang di rumah, maksudnya di kampung saya. Jadi yang seperti hoi begitu. Yang begitulah. Jadi yang selalunya ada itu atau itu ini ada, so but you don't write. That is a standard Malay. Standard Malay is actually standard Malay. It's actually like Indonesian language, but it's just the choice of word. Kerana perkataan itu. So you have to like a little bit enrich your bahasa Malaysia vocabulary. Okay. Yang itu sudah saya kira sudah mencukupi. Kerana kita punya, of course tata bahasa atau grammar might be some difference. But in the end, because I seen some certain words that are not so suitable as well. Kena like perkataan yang banyak dalam bahasa Melayu, maksudnya itu perlu. Why perlu? Keperluan, because it's also from English. Okay. Necessary. Ya, perlu is necessary. Jadi perlu itu mungkin the word necessary itulah yang menjadikan perlu itu sangat always being used. Then you heard, what is perlu? Kena. Just now I say kena. What is kena? Kena what means? So all this. But English is very important, and the rest I think should not be that much. But for law, I think you have to know, if you want to study Malaysian law, then you have to know the system. Okay. Like for example, I always told the student in my classes 2 days ago that Malaysian law is based on common law. So cases are very important. So when I see sometimes the students here, they have some difficulty. Why lecturer tend to tell stories? Why? Because case are story.
Makes sense.
Facts. And then we always, in the tutorial in particular, there will be question like hypothetical question. Jika keadaannya begini, apa kesannya? Keadaan ini saya tukar pula. Keadaannya begini, apa kesannya? Dia begitu. Dia Socratic method.
Always like that.
Yes.
Every lecture, every courses.
I mean,
every course.
Yeah, most of the most of the courses will be like that, with the exception of Islamic law.
Okay.
But even now, Islamic law teaching now, because my daughter is also taking law.
Okay.
Now it's becoming like that. There will be a lot of cases.
Okay.
So you have to study cases, and you have to. It's not one case, really. It's not two cases. It's hundred of cases.
Oh my God.
And you have to memorize the name of these cases.
That's quite different with us, because our legal system is civil law. So
written law. Yeah. We also have the written law.
Okay.
But our written law, our act, we don't have code. We only have that act, and the rest is actually the principles developed by the judges.
Yeah.
In these cases, so you have to know. And another thing that I noticed also, that's why the historical background is very important of all the rule.
Yeah.
So we know, for example, the rule say that if you do this, you will commit a crime.
Yeah.
Or we also have like thoughts. You cannot do something negligent, causing damage or injury to other people. The other people can take action against you. Then we will study from the first case, when the case was in England. Then normally our lecturer, that's why sometimes I see some students, especially not from Malaysia, they cannot appreciate why the lecturer is like, and depend. If I were the lecturer, I will make the storytelling very interesting.
Yeah.
But imagine, not every lecturer are like that. Some lecturer are not very well. Sometimes they cannot. Their voice is soft.
Yeah.
Then when they start explaining the case, and then when you like that, then you it has something to do with the law.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite different, because in our classroom, for example, we would talk about the citizenship, and then the citizenship is regulated in the laws number of blah blah blah, and then we just use a case, a simple case for this example.
We use both. We have for example, citizenship again. What is the provision in the constitution? Okay, and then the lecture we discuss, the provision is, okay, let's say article something and something, which says that blah 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 blah. Then start the case. The case started, and then I see, okay, the student will belong. The case, because why? Some cases are related. Maybe one case falls under article 20. Some case fall also under article 25. Some case also relevant to article 30. So this case is very important. But when you want to read the case, you have to it's like you chop the case. Is like 1, 2, 3. Okay, this part. Okay. This part. This.
Okay.
So it's quite challenging.
Okay.
But I tell you, I have I have a friend Indonesian who is now an associate professor in Malaysia teaching law. So that should not be to me. You can always master it.
But that method is really interesting, I think. So student will bored or something, because we just only teach about the regulation only. It's not in your...
Depends, okay. It can depends on what subject. Okay, we sometimes, let's say, some subject like taxation, or advanced company law, or securities. Even I myself, when I am not in business, I'm not in the corporate world. So if, let's say, I read, sometimes I cannot appreciate too much until I go into the industry. That's why I myself, I will always engage myself in the industry, so that for my area is competition law. I will know that in the industry how they appreciate competition law.
Okay.
But then if, let's say, some lecturer, they are not very much, then they will just explain what is in the law reports.
Okay.
You have to know, you have to read the law reports. The law report is the case report. You have so many. Okay.
That's interesting, I think. And about another question that I would like to ask you. In every country has its quirky side. Like, what are some things about Malaysia that students find unexpected or funny, but also important to understanding the culture?
Okay. As I said, if you go to Malaysia, okay, in the TikTok or in the social media, they will show only the good things. Okay, sometimes I feel a little bit amazed. Saya kadang-kadang apa ya dipanggil kalau bahasa Melayu itu pelik, quite strange that many of those TikTokers, they are not Malaysian. And actually Malaysians, we don't care about our country. That means that they show, Malaysia is, we're very beautiful. Yeah, I love my country.
Okay.
It's a beautiful country. But I always told everyone here and also in my country that states, because I teach international law, so my knowledge of international tells me that state is also like human. So do you have a perfect human? No, there is no perfect man in this world. So country also, there is no perfect country in this world. You go to the most perfect country, some people say, Japan. Go to Japan. There are certain aspects of the country that, oh my God. You go to Malaysia, not every place in Malaysia, I would say, I don't want to say that developed. Yeah, I have to say that my country is developed. Yeah, because I don't know nanti yang ini akan diambil. I know that this appear on YouTube and suddenly appear in TikTok, then finish. I'll be gone.
Malaysia is developed.
Developed. In terms of infrastructure, I tell you.
Of course.
I tell you. Okay, I give an example. I myself sometimes, I drive and I tell my family, my wife, my kids, oh my God, cantiknya Kuala Lumpur ini.
Yeah.
And my wife also say, yeah, you know why? Because if let's say you drive from KLIA, you drive to Kuala Lumpur, you can drive using the north-south highway.
Okay.
It's a very modern, but of course macet sometimes.
Yeah.
Then you pass, exactly. If you drive, I went to DC. From Dallas International Airport to the Washington City Center. To me, it's like, in Malaysia. I say, it's like in Malaysia. Yeah, I can say it's like in Malaysia. I went to Washington. It looks like Putrajaya to me. Yeah. Later on, maybe it's maybe like IKN, in Kalimantan. You new. Yeah. And then, I took one more highway. If you can drive, you drive using MAX, they call it MAX. MEX. MAX is even more beautiful. Then, you go from KLIA, you go to Putrajaya. Putrajaya itself is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you take MAX, and then the highway is like, it's a highway sandwiched by hills, but not mountains, and it's facing Kuala Lumpur. And then you are like, as you go on, the Kuala Lumpur, the what they call the sprawling Kuala Lumpur will become like larger and larger and larger, and it goes straight into the Kuala Lumpur center. And then you can take another highway which is called SPE. You can go to the east side to the mountains.
Okay.
And it's like, it's beautiful.
Wow.
If you take, if let's say I'm a TikToker, I record from the time I landed in Malaysia until I reached the other part near Genting Highland.
Yeah.
Then it will be like, wow, your country is like paradise. But you got to remember, there are parts of Kuala Lumpur and other places in Malaysia which, oh my God, it may be like not so tidy, dirty. We have a lot of sampah, a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
So that again, we talks about culture. Not everybody in Malaysia can speak English. When you go to sometimes certain places, the old people, they don't speak English sometimes. So you don't speak English with them. Then you have to speak bahasa. Then you have to they know that you are Indonesian, and sometimes again you have to forgive sometimes some people. Sometimes they thought that Indonesian are just like Indonesian workers in Malaysia. Forgive them, tell them pakcik saya begini, and now I think it's becoming more and more understandable. They know already because why? Because they also go to Indonesia. They have their their holiday, the Indonesia. They see Indonesian people. To tell you the truth, they are more rich, very rich Indonesian people than Malaysia. We don't have so many rich people in Malaysia. Most of us are like like me. Like me. Of course we can alright.
Okay. And for international students, probably our student from Indonesia will take courses in Malaysia, and where can international students find support or mentorship once they arrive in Malaysia to ensure they thrive both academically and also socially?
Okay. Again, if you ask me not here, my answer will be very, very but because
Okay, it's probably different.
They are probably different, so I have to mince my words. The English say mince my words.
Yeah.
All right. First, there is international student office.
Okay.
There is international student office in the university. So again, you might feel like why certain universities they are what do you call their receptiveness, how they receive you is different. Maybe the private university might be different because the fee is higher. The fee is higher. Okay, and now we have very good private universities in Malaysia. We have very good. In fact, they are I think the best private university in Southeast Asia is now in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot name the university lah.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is not an advertisement for that university. So it depends. So if you come to public university, you have to understand it's government university. Sometimes they are government servants as well, and they have to to take care of so many international students. The number of international students in Malaysia now is very high.
Okay.
Some university now is so high that it can go up to 20%.
Oh
of
my
the
God.
whole population. Yeah. Can
That's
go up to 20%. So when the students from many countries, that they are from different culture. But normally, from my experience, students from Indonesia, dia pandai jaga diri.
Okay.
Kenapa? Kerana mungkin dia rasa ini
Culture.
seperti tanah aku juga. It's like my homeland.
Yeah.
Because why the culture is the same. So I think, but of course there can be some issues, like for example, visa.
Yeah.
That one I understand. And some students come to see me and say, Doktor, macam mana visa saya? How do you know? Then again, you have to ask the university authority. And sometimes it's not the fault of university. It's the ministry or maybe the immigration, imigrasi. So you have to prepare. And one more thing, I have encounter with student, tapi bukan undergrad. You have to be careful. When you want to, let's say you got a place, especially public university. Public university, especially good public university.
Yeah.
Why? Because everybody wants to go there. You go to UM, you go to UKM.
Yeah.
And then you have to understand that sometimes now the number of international students, last time the biggest is Indonesian student, but now no. Now it's China, students from China, the highest. So we have so many students, and so sometimes you have to get everything ready.
Okay.
Get everything ready. If let's say they say these are the things that you have, normally Malaysia, our style, we have checklist. Checklist?
Yeah.
Checklist is the first page.
Okay.
The checklist, if they say that you have to have all those documents, make sure you have all the documents. Don't take any chance.
Legal documents.
Yeah, legal documents.
Very.
And then when you go there, when you arrive there, so you have to make sure that this is something yang sometimes some students just say that okay, enggak apa-apa saya enggak hadir registration. Registration you have to be there. So and suddenly say they come maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or maybe 2 months later, or one student came to me 6 months later, and then you are considered, like for example, you are like cancelled. Then you have to go back, you have to go through all over again. And the process of admission in Malaysia, as like public university, when you want to, for undergraduate is different.
Yeah.
But for postgraduate, application has to be screened.
Oh, okay.
So the screening. These are all because of the rules. So we have to follow.
Okay.
Or else, we will lose the accreditation.
Oh,
So that's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So probably this is the final question for you for our podcast today, and probably that will be same with the previous question, but probably you can give more advices. So my question is like, if you could give one piece of advice to someone considering to studying abroad in Malaysia, what would it be?
Okay, I would say again, when you come to Malaysia, first I think don't be too don't be too nervous.
Okay.
And in fact, again, I am here, I'm also nervous, but I have been here many times.
Yeah.
That's why if you want to study in Malaysia, maybe you can take time just to come to Malaysia. like holiday.
Okay, before you
yeah.
take the academic.
Because but of course kena kumpul wang lah.
Yeah.
Kumpul wang. Okay. You can go with your family,
Yes.
you can go with or with your friends. But I prefer you go with your family. Then
Okay.
you can as I said, you choose which okay, first, what do you like?
Okay.
What type of vibe do you like? Like me, if let's say you are a city folk, we are from Jakarta. Or Jakarta.
Jakarta.
From Jakarta or from Jakarta. Then up to you. If let's say you really like, you cannot run away from your city vibes. Then you go to, if you have more money, you can consider going to private university, good private university. You can, shouldn't be a problem. If you want to go to prestigious university, you can go to university, as I said, you have UKM, you have Universiti Malaya, very good. But again, one thing is the moment you are there, you have to be on your own.
Yeah.
You cannot you ask people, because people, I mean, in the international office, because you have to understand, and this is a little bit, I have to explain a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to understand the nature of civil service kerajaan ataupun pegawai negeri.
Yeah.
Atau we call pegawai kerajaan.
Okay.
In Malaysia, Indonesia different.
Oh, we call PNS.
Yeah. In Malaysia, the culture is different. The culture is I mean, every one of us, including me, the what you call the job description is already fixed. So I will just do this. Okay. If let's say, bisa enggak tolong, mohon maaf, this is I have to be like very very frank. Mohon mengantarkan saya bisa? Contohnya drive.
Yeah.
Ataupun, no, because why only driver can drive.
Okay. Yeah.
Only driver can drive. Let's say there is like a staff. Then can you drive me? Cannot. You know why? Because in Malaysia they are very strict.
Okay.
Let's say there is accident. If there is accident and the staff who does not have the authority, that does not is not tasked.
Yeah.
To do that, the insurance does not cover.
Okay.
You see? Because why? Anything happen in Malaysia, this one, in my university even, if you are registered, anything, we make doa so that nothing bad happen. You will get, insurance and things like that. But of course, this one again, depending on the policy of the university. I don't know. I cannot speak on their behalf, but this is based on my observation.
Yeah.
It may be right, may be wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Haniff. It was a very insightful and valuable talking about the academic culture in Malaysia, and especially from your Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. And this is the final of our podcast. I would like to say once again, thank you so much for your time to be a podcaster with me. This is my first time to be like a podcaster.
Most welcome.
Yeah. Probably that's all. Thank you so much once again, and see you guys.
Okay.